Are you not hot?
A little bit.
If I close that window, it's going to get real hot.
This morning there was a guy running around the reservoir in a fucking suit.
Like an actual
Sweating.
suit?
An actual suit.
Was he not running to work, running late?
He was on a full-on
Oh.
job.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Perk+Pace podcast. I'm Lydia.
I'm Matt.
And today we have a very special guest for you. His name is Darrian.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
No problem. Pleasure.
Dragged him in.
Kicking and screaming. Darrian is, by day, a freelance consultant, and we'll hear more about that. But I became aware of you from the wonder that is Instagram, and you being a wonderful personality around Birmingham in general.
Why, thank you.
We will get you to tell us about yourself in a minute, but we do like to start off the podcast with Matthew. Over to you.
Sounds very daunting. It's not.
Does sound daunting.
Quick fire round.
Let's go.
First thing that comes to your head. Go to coffee shop order.
Iced oat latte with pistachio and salted caramel.
Nice.
Sugar fiend.
Yeah.
It's what's in that cup there.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
That's a good one.
Nice. Yeah, that's good.
Because right now it's roasting in Birmingham and I could teleport to a beach.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Shark.
Ooh.
Oh no, I want to know more about that. Why shark?
I don't know. I feel like they're just left alone.
And you just want to be left
Yeah,
alone.
just swimming around, minding my own business. I don't actually like eating fish though.
You don't fuck with sharks.
Can eat humans.
Yeah, I just eat people.
Just eat people.
Apparently they taste like pork anyway.
Poached or scrambled eggs?
Poached.
Ooh, okay. Least favourite gym exercise?
The ski erg.
Ooh.
Is it?
I hate it.
Get it out of the way.
Controversial, yeah.
First station, get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Like yesterday, my finisher was 3 kilometres on it. And by the end of it, I was like, yeah.
Did you have to hold any kind of pace? What was...
An aerobic pace.
Okay.
So as long as I wasn't like taking the piss.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. Nice, thank
Nice,
you,
yeah,
thank
good,
you.
good.
So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know you, please tell us about yourself, who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your background and what keeps you busy.
Cool. So my name's Darrian. I am from Birmingham, born and raised. But I've lived in Plymouth for uni, lived in London for work, moved to France for uni as well. And I think that's where like my love of travel come from. Learned to snowboard while I was out there as well, which was awesome. And then, as you say, by day, I'm a freelance consultant. So my background is transformation. Worked across financial services, marketing, healthcare, outsourcing, pretty much turn my hand to anything. Got made redundant a couple of years ago from working in banking. Travelled around for a bit and then started to work for myself. So at the minute, I'm working as a diversity and inclusion consultant. I've been head of delivery for a marketing firm. And yeah, I'm about to start working as a gym instructor as well.
Cool. So tell us about that. Well, in fact, maybe let's go back a little bit further first, because I've been aware of you on social media and watched some of your little podcast bits and stuff, and you do talk very openly about the younger part of your life and like
Yes.
being bullied and not fitting in and that kind of thing. So if we could start as far back as that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about it and then how that's kind of shaped who you are today.
Sure. So I am from, like I said, born and raised Birmingham, from Ladywood. Started to go to secondary school in Kings Norton, which was very different than going to school in Ladywood.
Yeah.
And so for as long as I can remember, there's always been comments around my sexuality before I even knew what it was. Like people would call me gay. I didn't even know what gay was.
Right.
And then started school, and then as I moved into sort of year 8, year 9, that's where people started picking on me for that. So that was something I dealt with at school. And it's weird how certain experiences in those sort of formative years then bleed into later life, which I didn't really unpack until I experienced bullying in the workplace as well. I ended up going off sick, going to therapy to start working through it. And I was like, oh, shit, there's actually correlation through a lot of this. And then in addition to that, I've like struggled with weight, body image over the years. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. And it's some of the stuff I talk about on my podcast about things like mental health, body image, sexuality. You know, in my corporate life, I've supported parents who have had children come out to them and like how to handle it well. My parents handled it brilliantly, but then my social circle not so much. And even helping people like I remember one of my friends saying to me, like, I think my brother is going to be gay when he's older. And I was like, right, well, maybe don't say that to him. He is 10. Like, let him grow up and figure it out first, because he might just be a little bit effeminate.
Yeah.
But it's even things like that where people mean no harm and they want to support someone, but I'm like, yeah, but if you're preemptively outing them, you can do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned being bullied in even like recent years at work.
I wouldn't say it was recent, so we're talking about 9-10 years ago at this point.
In your adult life.
In my adult life, had a very toxic manager who, for some reason, took a disliking to me, and would do things like we'd be having our weekly management update, and he'd dismiss everyone and he'd go, right, I just need to keep Darrian back, just talking about his department. So he'd keep me back in a meeting room and then just make so many inappropriate comments to me, telling me, like, at the time I just finished a grad program, so I would have been about 24, 25, and this person was in their 50s. And he'd be saying things like, at your age, you should be grateful to be in this position. You should be grateful for the money you're on.
Complete narcissist, sort of. Like,
yeah, he'd expect me to be available from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m, constantly like calling me, trying to catch me out on things. And he was like, as an unattached male, you should be available. You should be doing everything that I ask you for.
So toxic.
So common, unfortunately.
And when I'd work, 12, 14-hour days, I remember when I first started saying, well, can we get some of this time back? Because as managers, we don't get overtime. And he dismissed everyone from the room and he was like, I expect the women to ask that, not you. And I was like, right. I got pulled up on the fact that I'm not very social with the leadership team. And I was like, yeah, because you're all twats. Like, you're all so like the way they used to dob each other in to try and curry favour with this really toxic leader. And I was like, I don't trust any of you. I got, when I went off sick, I got referred to occupational health, and the letter that he'd wrote was so toxic that the doctor that I went to see was like, have you read this? I was like, no. And he went, get a copy of it. I can't show it you, but get a copy of it. And in it, he accused me of being bipolar. He accused me of having some form of personality disorder. He accused me of being under the influence at work because I was noticeably happier on a Friday. And I was like, because it's the longest period I've got until I'm back in this environment.
Did you get support from HR or anything like that?
No. That person still works for that company. I caught up with an ex-colleague a couple of weeks ago, actually, who still works for that business. And yeah, still there.
Still there.
I did take it to HR because I handed in my notice, went through a grievance process because I'd done a master's through that company and they had it that you had to work there a certain amount of time, otherwise you pay it back. And off the record, their HR person said to my union rep, whatever he wants, we'll just give it him. So I got paid out of my notice period. I didn't have to pay anything back.
Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know? Did that, I mean, from my naive point of just hearing this for the first time, do you think that shaped you on this like diversity and inclusion journey?
100%.
Yeah.
So I went off, went to therapy, and it was only when it got to the Monday and I sat in bed and cried. And I did not leave my room for about 2 weeks. And then it was like, no, actually,
there's a problem.
I'm not well. And that's when I went to my GP, and because originally he'd signed me off for 2 weeks with stress. And then I went back and he was like, well, this isn't just stress. So I was then signed off with stress, anxiety and depression and given 3 months off. Immediate referral to, I think it's called like Birmingham Mind, but therapy basically. Which usually has a really long waiting list, but I was seeing him a couple of weeks. And then started to unpack a lot of what was going on. Sort of, as I say, stuff that happened in my formative years.
They're on
just
those
little
big,
dick energy.
big fucking
It's-
mopeds.
it's
Yeah.
fucking
Quads.
I want to buy an air rifle and shoot them.
We
Probably
should.
could. Nobody find out it was you.
Yeah, so started to unpack a lot of stuff that happened in my formative years, and I was like, right, I'm not going back to that job. Made a decision, not going back. So started to apply for other ones, got a new job, finished that sick period. As I say, went to occupational health as well. Went back. The day I went back, I sent my resignation to the exec leadership team, lodged a grievance against this manager, and it was honestly one of the most satisfying moments, because my first day back, he called me into a meeting room with the person who'd been covering me. I just went on this big long rant about what he was going to do with my job and all of this stuff. And I let him talk. He didn't let me speak once. And then we got to this like hour-long monologue. And he went, right, anyone got anything to add? And I went, yeah, I'm resigning. And he went, what? And I went, yep, resigning.
Bye, dickhead.
And I went, effective immediately. And he went, well, you'll have to put that in writing. And I went, I already have to your boss.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, well, where are you going to go? And I told him what my new job was. And he was like, best of luck then. And like scurried away.
Oh.
Absolute toads in the workplace. Absolute toads.
That experience, plus being like sort of rebuilding my own confidence when I started that new role, I kind of went in with a bit of a, not a chip on my shoulder, but right, this is me. I know I'm good at what I do. If I experience any of that again, I'm off. And immediately I got involved in their LGBTQIA network. Initially just like as a member, finding out what they were about, what opportunities were there. It wasn't very well run when I joined. And I provided some feedback and said, like, you know, you could structure this a bit different. Like at the minute you get together for a couple of socials, but you should be looking at impacting policy. You should be looking at coaching junior people. You should be offering support. And they were like, well...
Not just tea and cake on a Thursday. That's what
pretty
they
much,
do.
yeah. And they went, well, do you want to run it for Birmingham then? And I was like, all right. So did that, and then increased the membership from like 100 people in Birmingham to, I think it was 300 in the first year, 600 in the second year. Birmingham Pride, they were one of the main sponsors, increased the attendance at that from roughly 100 people to about 600 people regularly, changed global policy, like did all of this work, but it all started from me having a really negative experience and going, yeah, I'm not going to let anyone else have that.
I love that.
And that's also like credit to you for not, because I used to have a corporate life before I got into coaching, but and I worked in HR, so like worked in policy reform, worked in implementing the policy, not just, you know, doing tea and cake on a Thursday, and then people thinking that they're
Ticking a box.
Yeah, ticking a box. But that you use that experience to actually have an effect rather than it affecting you.
Yeah.
Obviously it did affect you, but you went through that process and then obviously went on to do some, what sounds like incredible work. So that's up to you.
It's been great because it's not just a case of changing sort of corporate environments, but then when I've got people sending me messages being like, you know, I felt comfortable to come out in the workplace because of seeing you so visible, or supporting people through domestic violence, supporting people setting up different networks to support different minority groups, just hearing the impact it has at the end rather than just being, all right, I've changed the policy for a company, great.
Yeah.
Maybe the impact has been big.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I also was aware, I got to quite a senior level for that particular company, and I used to love the fact that I'd be in like Canary Wharf and I'd stroll in like a pink suit and big white Doc Martens, blonde hair, and I'd get so many, being honest, filthy looks. People would look me up and down, and inside I just used to love that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you're all middle-aged, balding, you all wear the same blue, grey or black suit. This is why people think that financial services isn't for them. Like, I didn't think it was for me. I just fell into it and actually really enjoyed it. But that's why stereotypes exist, because you all look the same, you all behave the same, you all aspire to the same things. And I had people comment and just be like, well, yeah, I felt more comfortable dressing the way that I'm comfortable because I saw you. And again, I'm just like, awesome.
It's embodying
I think people just want to be seen, don't they, as well?
Yep.
That's what it is.
It's embodying the whole be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
And what do they call them? Pale and stale.
Yes.
Fuck 'em.
Male, pale, stale.
Yep.
Our old CEO, when I worked there, used to say that. He was like, look, I form part of that group as well, so I don't want to just hear from people who look and sound like me. I want to hear from diverse groups.
Well, that's what we need, isn't it? Someone who fits into that mould, recognising they fit into that mould, and then just being
Calling out.
open-minded and
Calling
calling
out,
out.
But it's even from myself, if I just look at it from sort of the LGBT side of me, I'm still white, I'm still male, I still command a certain level of privilege in society. So I'm also hyper aware that when I am doing sort of the work that I'm doing, I don't necessarily speak with authority for every group, but I also am very challenging to people on that. So, for example, when I work with organisations and they're like, oh yeah, we've attended 3 Pride marches this year, and I'm like, awesome, what ones are they? Oh, okay, it's Sheffield, Manchester, Birmingham, great. So those prides cater mainly for able-bodied, white, cisgender people, mainly white gay men. Like the lineups, everything that they do for them, it caters for a certain demographic. So have you considered supporting Sober Pride, Bi Pride, Trans Pride, UK Black Pride? Have you got involved in grassroots charity work? Like, don't just slap a rainbow logo on something. Like, what are you actually doing?
Tick a box.
Yeah.
Tick a box.
We're going to go into a bit of fitness now. I say fitness, yeah. So I guess for many people within the LGBTQ plus community, the gym hasn't always felt historically like a safe and welcoming space. So I'd love to just know about a little bit more about your own relationship with fitness. You spoke about it at the start with body dysmorphia and all this sort of stuff. So what's it been like for you historically? What's that journey been like?
My fitness journey has been a bit of an up and down one. So very sporty kid.
Yeah.
Used to swim, used to do karate 2-3 times a week. Used to be quite active.
Practically related, we are.
I know, right? Fucking hell. You guys are going to fight after this.
And then when I went to high school, it kind of fell away. Gained weight. And then when I got to, I'd say like 15, 16, I was like, right, I want to do something about this now. So I'd go to the gym, but I didn't really necessarily know how to work out healthily. So I was the person who would like calorie count everything. I'd be in a deficit, but...
Really? From that young you were doing that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I went to uni in quite good shape, and then it fell away again because alcohol. And then I moved to France, and then it was alcohol plus bread and cheese.
Yeah.
Great alcohol.
Yep. It was €3 for a bottle of wine and €2 for a baguette. So I remember getting back, coming home for Christmas. My mum just opened the front door and went, "Oh my God, you got fat."
Oh, Mom.
And she said...
I feel like this is another deeper conversation now.
What she said as well, she was like, I went, "Are you fucking joking? I've literally just been living abroad for 6 months. That's the first thing out your mouth."
Yeah.
And she went, "Well, if I don't say anything, you won't do anything." And I was like, got my own back though, because when I came back 12 months later, my mum had gained weight, and I said that to her. And she was like, "That's really mean." And I was like, "You can fuck off."
Yeah.
Now you know how it feels.
But yeah, there was a point when I got back from France, started back at uni, and would just look at photos of myself and was like, I don't like what I'm seeing. But then I kind of went the complete other way, and I was eating like 1,200 calories a day and then burning off 1,200 calories and like literally not really living off anything. Lost loads of weight, looked like a bit of a bobblehead, and then I was like, yeah, this isn't actually healthy again. And then it kind of fell away again, and then I come back, moved back to Birmingham, had that toxic job that I spoke about, was off for 3 months. I don't do well without
Like
a
routine
goal, a
structure,
target, yeah. So I started running. And from there I was like, right, I can run 5K, let's try 10. Right, I can run 10, let's enter a half marathon, let's do a training program for it. And running, I think, helped me start that journey of bettering my relationship with food, because you can't do distance running on
No
fuck
fuel.
all.
Yeah.
Well, you can. It just doesn't go very well.
No, well, that's the thing. You won't do very well in it.
Yeah.
You could probably do it. You might faint.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I was like, right, I need to like fuel my body to be able to do these things.
Yeah.
And then I got like a PT to help me get back into weightlifting and just having correct form and things like that. And then, yeah, it's kind of gone on from there.
So it's always been a part of your life in some respect. It's just maybe a bit healthier now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And doing it for a sense of enjoying what I'm doing versus an end result. So for like years, I was chasing an aesthetic that I thought I should have. My body's actually not built for that aesthetic. Like, I would want to be one of these like super lean people. I'm not built that way. Like, I'm built quite sturdy. I'm naturally quite strong.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, I had friends who were like, they were all bodybuilders and they would compete and things like that. And they've got like less than 5% body fat. And I'm like, not being funny, but I like a bag of crisps.
Honestly, I was just about to say cake's a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Have an ice cream.
Yeah, honestly.
And when I'd be like, they'd be there with their plain chicken and rice. I'm like,
Boring.
oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, I could drop dead tomorrow. I'd
Yeah.
rather drop dead with a good meal in my body.
Yeah. It was funny, we've talked about this on previous
Yeah, all the
podcasts,
time.
like the genetic makeup thing as well, because it's something I've kind of recently embraced, because again, I like want to be like super lean, but I have been given this like relatively sturdy, big bone, quite strong body, and it's like, no, actually I can squat, and that's quite empowering.
Yeah.
You know, so like that journey of like accepting what you've been genetically given as well, it takes a while to get there.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I definitely can lean out, and that's something I'm working on, but what I thought I should look like has changed over time. And like I say, that's been working with PTs, that's been learning more myself, that's been going through my own PT qualifications as well, and helping other people on that journey. Like, I do believe that, you know, I run a lot, right? So I'm like, well, anyone can run, which people are always like, no, I can't run. Like, right, can you run for a bus? Yeah, so you can run.
Yeah.
That's a starting point. Just because you can run 100 meters and that's it. Like, all humans were built to run. Whether the distance and the time you do it in, that's the difference.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, I've tried to get back into running, but, you know, I've got shin splints. And I was like, well, you probably don't have shin splints. You probably have sort of tendon aches rather than shin splints, because shin splints are a lot more serious, and what they were talking about, it didn't sound right.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a doctor.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. Not a medical.
It's not medical advice, guys. But, and I was like, well, what did you do? Like, and they went, well, I just tried to go out for like a 5K run. All right, what pace were you doing? Oh, I was trying to do like 5 minute or less kilometers. When's the last time you ran? 2 years ago. Right.
Might be the problem.
That's, yeah. You should be going for a sort of 6-7 effort when you're first going back into it and just seeing how your body adjusts. Like, you should still be able to have a conversation whilst you're running. You're going out and doing a sort of 9 out of 10 effort and then being like, oh my God, everything hurts.
Of course it does.
Yeah. Because if I go out and do a 9 out of 10 effort, everything hurts. And it's getting people to sort of understand that they can do, unless they've got a physical reason, like a disability, that they can't do something. Everyone can do everything. It's just about the effort that you put into getting good at it. Running is very humbling because you can't be good at it straight away. Like, weightlifting, you will have a base level of strength. And for some people, that's higher than others. Running humbles everyone.
Well, I was going to ask you about with that fitness journey that you've just been on, and obviously helping support other people as well. What would you say to people who have those moments of, you know, overwhelmed when they're walking into a you know, most gym environments are quite scary, right? They're quite intimidating naturally. What would you say to those people?
I would say they can be intimidating, and I think personal trainers are a great route in because you've got a friendly face there. Yeah, you're paying them to be friendly, but you've got someone there who will teach you the correct form, will really support you and get you comfortable with being in that environment. So that's one route in. The other thing I would say is, you know, go to classes, build a little community, make it a little bit less scary for yourself. But also, I think people don't realise 80% of the people in the gym don't give a shit. they're not watching you.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Even the sort of big bodybuilder people, they're normally looking at themselves in the mirror with their tops off. They ain't looking at you. So don't be intimidated by it. And if it is an intimidating place, question if it's the place for you to be.
Right, sure.
Because I've definitely walked in to certain gyms and I'm like, oh no,
Just smells bad.
they sent for me. They sent. But equally, I was that person who was like, I want to go back into the gym, but like I'm a bit out of shape. I'm worried about my form. I don't want to end up on one of them TikToks where someone's like, look at this dickhead. Which now that like
it's a true story though. Like yeah.
But now that I'm sort of years and years into this journey now, I'm like, if anyone records anyone in a gym, you're the twat.
Yeah.
Big time,
Yeah.
big time.
If someone's doing something wrong, don't be a dickhead. Go over and just be like, first of all, ask, do you want a bit of help with this? And if they go no, piss off.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times people will give like unsolicited
Oh my
advice, I'm
God,
like, go away.
I was literally just about
Didn't
to
ask for
talk
your
to you.
opinion.
I was just about to talk to you about like what I call like hyper-masculine bullshit. Because I like shudder thinking about my early days in the gym because I was there like just trying to learn how to squat and stuff like that. And my experience of it was there was always be some guy who wanted to teach me how to squat. He wanted to like that unsolicited advice exactly. Or then as I got better at squatting would make him feel like he had a small dick or something, and then he'd be like, "Oh, can I jump in with you?" And then he'd like fail what I was squatting. But that's my experience of walking into a chain gym as a woman. But I'd be interested to hear about like that experience through your eyes, or if you've had any of that.
I think for women it's definitely different because I see it all the time where I think people see it as their sort of way in to start like flirting and they're like, can I help you? And again, I'm like, but for me, it's definitely that hyper-masculine side of things. And one of my favourite things that happens is I'll be in like my short shorts, pink headphones in, probably like doing a little dance in between sets or like mincing around. And I've had it where I'll load up the bar and people are like... and then I'll like rep it and they're like, oh, fair. And I'm like, dickhead.
Back in your box.
Yeah. Or like... when someone's trying to say anything, I'm like, mate, I can literally squat you.
Yeah.
Like,
but like, so for me, it took me a while to get to that level of confidence.
And that's the thing. It's taken me years.
But like, so it's like a conscious decision for me of being like, I am not going to let it bother me. I'm always saying that to myself in my head. Like, no, I'm just doing me. Like, and getting those funny looks or those looks of doubt and things like that. Like, yeah, it's definitely a conscious decision, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's part of why I'm moving into sort of the fitness space as well, because I've been part of run clubs for a few years. I've got involved in different fitness things and helped friends and get people back into it. And then I was like, well, actually, why don't I give this a go and get paid? But if I look around the trainers that I know in Birmingham, there's very few male queer people in that space. You get a lot of lesbian women, bi women, but I couldn't tell you more than maybe 2 gay men trainers in Birmingham. And even those ones that come to mind, they fit a certain mould. Whereas me, I just think I'm a bit more accessible. Makes me sound like a whore.
From Ladywood.
Yeah. But more relatable. Like, I'm not sort of this shredded super athlete. I'm someone who is quite fit, knows their stuff, and can just have an honest, friendly conversation with you.
I was about to ask you why you think there aren't maybe then more gay PTs, but I guess I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of all gay men in fitness.
Yeah, which I don't think I'm equipped to do, but I'll give it a go. I do think it is because the fitness industry is still this like hyper masculine. You've got to look a certain way, you've got to behave a certain way. It's all bollocks. So yeah, again, being the change you want to see, I was like, well, I don't see anyone like me. I don't see anyone knowledgeable around different aspects of like LGBT fitness as well. Like, if I see one more booty burner class targeted towards women, blow my brains out. It's like, gay men want fat asses too. but by like gendering your classes, but gendering your classes and gendering like what people want.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I've sat in classes and it's like, come on, ladies, if you want those bums for Ibiza, and I'm like, oh, piss off.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah. You've obviously got like a super positive personality that's, you know, you found your identity within running, fitness, your sense of self, which is incredible. When did you realise that, I guess, that fitness could be that avenue for you in terms of, you know, not just physically but emotionally, that sort of thing?
I think I've used it as an outlet for years. I always say there's nothing better than if you've had a shit day, going out for a run, blasting like certain music, anything that makes you feel like you're the main character in a film. If it's raining, even better.
Yes.
And you finish your session and you actually embody that character of the film. I do that all the time. Yeah.
I've said like
All the time.
some of my best runs have been after the shittest days, and I'm like, I will push myself until like I get that metallic blood taste in the back of my mouth and I can't breathe, but I feel much better about everything else because I'm like, I'm just trying not to die. Actually, life's not that bad.
I survived.
But it's such a stress relief, and then I think that built up then to everything else I spoke about, you know, wanting people to get more involved, realising my own struggles with being in a fitness space, being in those hypermasculine environments, and then thinking, well, actually, if I can do it, why can't other people do it? How can I help other people do it? So that's where it came from.
That.
Well, I mean, you talk really openly about this stuff now, times that must have been really, really tough for you. Like earlier on, you were sharing all that stuff about like, well, the corporate life, for example. I guess that can't be easy talking about it, but also why do you now choose to talk about it so openly?
Again, because through sort of coming out, through getting into fitness, through being in the corporate world, I didn't have any role models that I could point to. I think that's changing and has changed over a few years, but I had no one I could go to and talk about my own struggles. Like, I didn't come out until I was 23 and I was in my corporate career, like at the start of it, but in it. And again, I had no one that I could really turn to and help navigate that. So over the years, as I say, I've just become more and more gobbier about it, because I want people to feel like they have representation. And yes, I'm saying that as a white gay man who that population is arguably represented now, but it wasn't when I was going through all of this. So yeah, it was to do that.
Do you think that's a big part of, I guess if I was to say to you, what does that, not ultimate, because that's probably not the right word, but what would that safe space look like and mean for you in that fitness and gym environment? Is it that representation?
I think it is the representation side of things as well. Like, if you see people like you in environments that you think aren't for you, it will start to change your perception. If you can point to someone and say, like, look, they get it, they do it. What I have found is that a lot of queer people in very masculine environments will then start to almost adopt the other side of things and become a bit broy and and I'd rather chop my dick off.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sounds like the fitness industry's still got a long way to go. I mean, that's a whole other subject in itself as well, because the other day we were talking about like footballers. Like, is there a single out football player? Like, does that even exist?
Yeah.
There's one, and he's in Australia.
And is he getting bullied?
I think he got a lot of hate online.
Yeah, but it's, so it's like, it sounds like there's a long way to go. But is there anything that you think the industry is doing right?
I think outside of football, yes. I think football is dictated by the fan base, and unfortunately that fan base is still very unaccepting. And it's not just of LGBT, it's of ethnicity as well. It's of everything. Like, if we look at was it the Euro finals? And I think it was like Marcus Rashford or someone missed a penalty.
Yeah.
And one of the England players came out and said, when you're winning, you're English. When you're losing, you're black. And it was such a powerful statement, because it's true. Football fans are not the most inclusive. And I think until that fan base starts to become more tolerant and there are stricter rules on fans, because it's still accepted for a whole stand of football fans to make monkey noises or shout slurs and nothing's done.
They don't get bans. They
Nope.
don't get, yeah.
So
There's no
until it's actually
repercussions.
enforced and people put people over profit and their players over profit, that won't change. But if you look at other industries, so you've got people like Jake, who was, I think, semi-professional footballer.
Jack Williamson.
Yeah. And then wasn't accepted. I think he got kicked off his team, but he's now one of the best in the world at HYROX. And HYROX is becoming slowly more inclusive. There are a lot of other sports as well. Like if you look at the Olympics, I think we just had, not just, but the last Olympics was like the gayest Olympics on record with the amount of out Olympians.
I love that stat. Gayest Olympics ever.
Yeah, I saw like Pink News or someone put a post up about it and was like, this is actually the gayest Olympics we've ever had. And I was like, love that, taking that. But I think other sports are miles ahead of sports like football.
It's just led perfectly into my next question. So we're obviously huge fans of HYROX. HYROX. We've done it a fair.
What is the
few.
plural of HYROX?
I don't know. I don't think.
HYROXi?
I think it's like geese and geese.
A murder of
geese, it's
HYROX.
just geese.
A murder of HYROX.
That's appropriate.
I think that is appropriate.
I'm coining that.
You've competed in a few, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why HYROX? I know you just touched on it then, but talk us about your HYROX journey so far. Because again, I've been doing HYROX since probably 2021, 2022.
Early adopter over here.
Very.
Did you go to the first ever one that was in Birmingham?
I did.
There we go.
It's like he was there. It's a very classically hyper masculine, sport, and like you say, it's getting better. They're doing a lot more around
adaptive,
adaptive, everything like that, which is unreal. So yeah, just why HYROX, and talk us about your journey so far.
So I had never heard of it
until
I started going to BTND, which is Jake Williams' run club, which I'm now an ambassador for. Hadn't heard of it. Obviously, he competes in it. He was talking about it. Loads of people know him from that who were at the run club. They do them. And then I was like, I could give that a go. So I did. And then I was like, right, that was really hard.
It's how long? How many stations?
That's humbling.
So I did my first one as a doubles.
Nice.
Had a really good time doing it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just a bit of a sucker for pain because I do half marathons. I've got it on my bucket list that I want to do an ultra marathon. I like to see what my body's capable of. So yeah, did that, and then I was like, right, should I do a single? Should I not? And I'd trained myself for it. I hadn't had like a formal plan or anything like that. And then it got to, that was in October in Birmingham, and then a ticket came up for Manchester in January this year. And I was like, should I do it? I haven't really trained for it. I've mainly been running. I was like, I'm going to do it. Literally the night before, told someone I'd take their ticket off them. Went up to Manchester, did my first solo. You won't find a record of it because HYROX introduced their new IT system that weekend.
I remember that.
And if there is anyone who works at HYROX corporate listening, you are shocking at dealing with any customer service stuff.
Customer support.
Yeah,
terrible.
they really are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful. So I finished, and you go and get your photo done with your little patch, and it just come up NA. There was a time there, I've got the photo, but just didn't have my name because I did a name change that day, paid for the name change, and went to the customer service desk. They were like, we'll be able to associate the records, don't worry, give us a chip. It'll be done in a couple of weeks passed, nothing. We're now 5 months later, nothing.
Wow.
So thankfully I've got a record of my time myself.
Yeah.
But I did that, and then I did a couple of weeks later did the Barcelona half marathon, and then I was like, right, my ankle's in bits. Let's sort my tendonitis out, but also I've just hit a PB for my half marathon time. I've done all right in HYROX. Let's get a proper coach now, and let's. It's really hard coaching yourself, especially with stuff that is hard, because I get very lazy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean lazy as in I won't exercise, but for example, running, if I know I need to do a speed training session, but I don't want to. I don't. I'd be like, I'm just gonna go out for a 10k run.
Sounds like my kind of proof.
But it is where it's like,
Got a tick now.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
but I know I can smash out a half marathon with very little effort. I won't necessarily get the best
All
time.
right, big bollocks.
But no, I've done that many of them. But I've done that many of them at this point. I know I can do one. I can finish one.
Yeah.
Will I do well in it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to improve my time, I need
Yeah, you need
to
proper
do that
structure
stuff.
and
Oh, I get it. I wouldn't program myself for hard sessions. I totally get what you're saying.
And that's the thing. I program myself. I hit a PB in November, and then I hit another PB in February, and then like I've been chipping away at it slowly. But in my head, I was like, imagine how much better you would have done if you'd have done all the shit that you should have. So I got a coach. Then entered HYROX Warsaw. Did that. Got my best ever time, but then also got a 5-minute penalty, which I was fuming about.
Remind me what you got it for.
So I'm a dickhead who can't count.
Oh.
So
I'm actually you.
I did something silly too, but carry on.
got to my second lap around the course, and it was a 3-lap going on the third. And it was on the screen in front of me, and it said 2. And I was like, but maybe that's because it hasn't updated yet, because I'm pretty sure I've done 3. And as soon as I crossed the line into the rock zone, I went, no, you didn't.
Yeah, you knew.
And I just went, and it's not always a 5-minute.
No, not
So I was like, all right, maybe I can make the time up. Couple of stations, couple of kilometers later, saw it on the screen. It was like 5 minutes. And then it's mad the mental games you have to play with yourself then, because I was like, flip the table. Fuck it then. I'm not going to do it. I'm already dying. I'm not going to get a good time. And then again, the other voice in my head is going, no, speed up, see how much of it you can recover. So I think I ended up getting like 129, but then the 5-minute penalty, so 134. But my time in Manchester, I think, was like 142.
Oh, wow.
So I'd knocked like 12 minutes off.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have taken me 5 minutes to do that lap. It would take like a minute and a half
that's
max.
the funny thing about those penalties.
Yeah. So I was like, I'd have come out probably 130, 131, which is still an 11-minute improvement.
Yeah.
So now I've got Birmingham coming up.
Are you going to Birmingham?
Yeah.
Matt's doing Birmingham too.
So
Yay.
going to do my solo. Want to see what that comes out with.
Good man.
Ace. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about hospitality.
Okay.
Because you are a big supporter of the local hospitality scene. That like features big on your Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Where did that love come from? And why do you think it's so important to champion the industry the way that you do? Because it kind of, from a brand perspective for you, doesn't really make that much sense.
Yeah.
So why is it so still important to you?
So I've worked in hospo on and off since I was 16, so 18 years.
All legends have.
Yep. I think it should be a mandatory requirement.
Fuck yeah.
You have to do a customer service job before you can do any other form of job, because I think it shapes you, and I think not enough people have had a customer scream in their face, and that's why they talk to people like dickheads. Like, I think it humbles you, and it teaches you to actually be a decent person, speak to people well. But my Instagram came about because friends and family constantly ask me, like, where's good to eat, where's good for a night out. You know, I travel quite a lot. Give me your tips for Paris. And I knew other people who had these accounts. Once upon a time, when I lived in London as a very poor graduate, I used to write for an online fashion blog and go to like Fashion Week, because it meant I got free champagne, swag bags, exclusive like invites, all of this kind of stuff that I wouldn't have been able to afford. So the interest and the passion was already there for like creating online content. So I just started it, and it's gone from there really. But yeah, my love of it has come from working in it and appreciating kind of what we have in Birmingham. And it's great now, because when people are like, oh, I'm going to Madrid, can you tell me? I'll just send them like my highlight reel. I'm like, there you go.
Nice. You've already made the content.
Yeah.
Do you know Laura, Bite Your Brum?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say she says a really similar thing about you have to work in hospitality. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Like
Just core people skills as well. That's what it is.
It teaches you how to speak to people.
And how to deal with like conflict. Well, I'm preaching to the converted here, but yeah.
I've had people threaten to stab me. I've had glasses thrown at me. I've had a cigarette put out my face. I've had people throw up on me. I've dealt with it all. And that's why, and it's quite interesting when I work in sort of the environments I work in now, and everyone's like panicking. And I'm like, I've also worked in healthcare. I'm like, right, is anyone going to die?
Yes.
No. All right. So what are we doing here?
Honestly, that really is the marker. Yeah. Like I use that quite a lot sometimes. If people, I'm like, is anyone going to die? Right. Let's remember it's just food and drink here. I've used it with customers as well. When customers have been getting really irate, I've been like, so I mean, obviously I go through all the normal processes first, but a couple of times I've said like, you do realise you're talking about food. Yeah. Like,
it's true. Like my sister's a paramedic, and she obviously doesn't talk about what she's doing on the job. But at a highlight, some of the stuff that she has to deal with, you notice in different situations that she's so measured, because you have to be, because it's like, well, let's pull it back here. Let's be realistic about what actually is going on.
Like, I remember a couple of years ago being on my way back from a day out in Bristol, and having to perform CPR on someone on the train, and we were between Cheltenham and Birmingham, and they were like, well, we can't stop the train, you're just going to have to keep going until we get to New Street. That is a life and death situation. I recently had a company I was working with, one of their team members was crying to me because they'd messed something up on a campaign for a well-known fast food chain, and I went, ultimately, we're advertising burger and chips. Oh, it's
not the end of it. We can fix it,
yeah.
Perspective.
Yeah. Like, no one's died, have they? No. Like, you just made a little error. And so, I think sometimes having someone, like you said, we're just talking about food. If it's that deep for you,
there's something else going on. And this is also what I say to the next generation that I'm training. I'm like, you need to remember that actually in that scenario there's something else going on, and it isn't you. And remembering that is really empowering. Like, you can do everything you can, but if they are just screaming in your face about, I don't know, a spilled drink or something, they probably need therapy. We probably need to sympathise with this person at this point.
100%.
What's next for you?
I don't know, if I'm honest.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, my whole life was like school, college, uni, grad scheme, corporate job, and I did that up until I got made redundant, and then it was a massive culture shock for me to be like, and I remember a friend saying to me like, yeah, you used to base a lot of your life on what you did 100%. And career accomplishments and things like that. So the last couple of years, and especially going self-employed, has made me almost figure out what I like doing. And like at the minute, I've got a consultancy gig that I'm fortunate to have, that I do a few days a week, and that's enabled me to then really focus on things like fitness and getting my qualifications there. And I'm going to start coaching through that. And yeah, I'm in a space where I'm like, see what comes along. Whatever is meant for me will be meant for me, and whatever's not isn't.
Amazing. You'll have to come down to the run club, Perk+Pace.
Do you know what? It has been on my list to come down, but I've not been to any, because I'm doing like 3 days a week. I'm doing double workout days, and I'm like,
rest. I'm not running with them at the moment because I've been injured.
Can't run.
I joined them for a coffee afterwards. They all run around the corner, and I'm just like, woo, yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been going to the gym, finishing, nipping next door to the pub with everyone after the run club.
Yeah, nice plan.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
This has been great. I've loved getting to know you better, and thank you for sharing your story. If people want to know more about you, where do they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, The Bite and Brummy. You can find my podcast, which is called Switching the Code, because of code switching. So see what we did there. And then you'll probably find me bopping around Pure Gym and Arcadian, or running around the streets of Birmingham. Look for the guy with pink headphones and a little bit of a mince.
Nice. Darrian, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you for listening. We will catch you on the next one.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.